Hello, Odd Job Doer, and today what we have here is a door. It's actually a little double door thing, but this door here, see that? Has a little issue. See up top here? See right about there, which is not closed. Like I said, right up here, it's not closed all the way. It can close, but if you let go, it just springs back open, right? And so what I believe it has to do with these hinges here. You can see there, the hinge kind of binds, I think, when you close it. And to double check it out here, over here the other side is, you already checked the hinge, make sure none of these screws are poking out, and they're not. So, it can only be one thing, or maybe more in this case. But the one thing is that maybe underneath here, you have your door jamb kind of going straight. Instead of it being like this, it kind of bows backwards, something like that. And so when you try to do the door hinge, it binds. So to start off, what we'll do is we will take a couple of tools here. I think you know them from before. The flat scraper like so, metal, and a pry bar here, and we'll work on getting this trim off. The side door molding, right? So it's going to bring it up like so, then I'll feed it in kind of an angle behind the trim. Try to get some taps. Alright, well, that didn't budget very good. So, what needs to be done here is this. Yeah. Little knife action. Because taking a closer look, you can see that's actually sealed on the side here, and it has some sealed here where this door molding has gone up. So, just kind of take your knife like so here, and get it back in here behind the molding, and you'll run it down like that. Right? Start up top here and run it down, keeping it off of the back wall because you don't want to scratch up the paint job, especially if it's just got painted. And after that, I will try the pry bar again and see what happens. So, step one will be taking that molding off. Let me try this. There, much better. So now you can see here, you got the where the hinge is at. You can see a couple of screws here that go from here and that piece of wood over there, right? But what you don't see behind those hinges is any kind of there's like here, any kind of wedge, any kind of those, what's the word I'm thinking of? Shims, thank you. So, down here you can see, zoom in on it, kind of same thing. There's a shim there, but once again you got two screws barely hitting this 2x4 in here, and with the screw going through. But once again, with this 2x4, no shims on the back side of this. So, what we need to do now is, let's see, we'll do it like this. We'll get our drill driver ready. Right, and just bring it around town here. Open the door. Let's see now. Back it off so we can still see what's going on. And ever so slightly, I will undo the screws on the hinges. I'll back them off a little bit. Not enough so your door falls off on the ground. Although some, like that one, there's probably a short one. These here we know are long to a point. Back down there didn't grab anything. We'll undo the screws like that, and I'll get back to the other side. So 5 hours later, I got this shim, right? Thin tip, gradually gets bigger at the back part, and this will just slide right in through here, and a little bit of pounding from a hammer or mallet will help drive it in. Besides that, we got this thing here, a little scraper, see, razor blade. So you have stuff like this right here, some of the old caulking. You should be able to just kind of scrape it off, you know, kind of like that. And this right here, I'm going to gouge up the surface as much as I can. Actually, I'll get a plastic scraper on that thing. Right. That's just not, no, I think it's sharp. Okay, so this right here, take off the old caulking. Excuse my bare hands. And then the other wall here, I'll kind of, you know, scrape a little bit too. The back side of this here, the door molding we took down, right? I'll scrape off some of that stuff off there too. Get it ready to put back on. And in the meantime here, I'm going to take the door off the hinges right here. I'm going to pull them off, because even though I did loosen them here, it is loose. I'm going to go ahead and take the whole, because this is a heavy door. I'll take the hinge pins out, pull this door off, and then I'll be able to take off the this outer bracket here. I'll show you that in a little bit though. Alright, so I got me my stake, my shim there. I got me a little mallet here to bop it in. But before I start just hammering away on this side, what I'm going to do now is check the back side of this thing to see if anything can be adjusted. Alright, so if you look in here, you can see there's a gap there, and then there's that other 2x4 right back in here, see? And then a gap here. This is a thicker doorway. So what's this up here? Oh, okay, that's a secret, never mind. So, you can see here there's a little bit of a gap, oops, right there, but not so much on the other 2x4. Now down here you can see maybe a little bit more of a gap in between. Bring it around here, you can see a gap way back in here. So, and then as you go down, there's more gaps. And there is this part here. Now see, this is shimmed already right here. So I'm going to get some kind of a pliers or something and grab that shim and another one down here. It's hard to see, but I'm going to grab those shims and yank them on out of there, hopefully. And see what happens with the door. So you can see how it holds up there. So I'll slide those shims on out. At least try to. They could have screws or nails going through from you know, this side over here going through. But I'll just try to see if I can get them out and see what happens. Alright, so the purpose behind a shim is basically you take this part here, the thin part, you slide it in behind your door frame. Now this one here is actually stuck pretty good. This 2x4, so this 2x4 means there's a pivot point. And then you have on the other side, you bring another shim through. So you have these two thin pieces like so, come to each other, and as you gradually go like this, you know, it tightens up that space in between the door and the 2x4s. So that gives you an even shim. Now if you just do one side, that's pretty much a wedge. And so what I'll be doing here is I'll be revisiting these other ones. So I'll come around the side here and I'll insert a new one back here, and the thicker one that was in the back before, I'm going to go ahead and bring it up front here a little bit. And so right now it's already pretty tight because it's already been snapped off that snapping point, but I'm bring like so. Give it a little bit of encouragement. There, you got that? Yeah, you hardly got that. So, there it is. And we have the other shim in through the back part. And so that's going to give a little bit more twist of it going back out this way, so hopefully the door does not bind the hinges. Now I'll work the bottom and the top here a little bit. The top's pretty tight because when they put this in, they basically slap the 2x4 up against it. Looks like you have your door frame, and then a 2x4, and then the frame of the housing there. And it's like the only thing they used to, I think, shim up that side there was like a little bit of a screw there you can see. See that screw? So it's pretty tight in there. And probably get too much twist on that, but I'll get what I can, and hopefully the bottom should have some good twist to it because it's about a quarter out at the bottom down there. And all along, I will be taking the level like so, placing it against like so to make sure that this here is still up and down and not cattywampus. Alright, so let me bang away at this and see what happens. As you can see now, I shimmed it up there on the back side and the front side behind it, and I re-added the hinges. And now, when I re-added the hinges, screws that would look like this right here. See if you can zoom out here. Basically, where the top there's all kind of like, you know, not good. It's worn out. That kind of screw, got rid of. Screws that look like this here, little short ones, got rid of them too. In fact, seeing as how the screw down there bridges an empty spot of wood, I'll probably go back to the hardware store for them and get screws that are 4 inches long. These are 3-inch longs. So 4 inch should give that 2x4 a little bit better on the other side. And these doors are pretty heavy, they're solid core. So, now that those are on, I will attempt to put the door back on the hinges, and we can test it out. So what I did here was I put the door back on, tried it, and it came pretty close to closing up there. So, what I did, I'll show you in a little bit. What I did here was first I drove in a few more, giant finger here, of these right here, shims. One right there, and one at the bottom, I think. Maybe just put the bottom one in. Then I tightened it. It still needs a little more adjustment, but it seems like the other hinges were fine, just about so. I basically backed off the screws, and I shimmed in the bottom hinge. Now, just the hinge between the metal and the wood. So I will go back and screw those screws in tighter. They're down here, and then try the door from that point. And hopefully that has it. And behold, which once was a semi-lousy door that didn't want to close, you know, now closes all the way and stays there. But we're not done yet, of course. So this little added frame part here, that now has been moved over just ever so slightly. And so I can try to push it back. Yeah, it fits now. And try this thing. Because this thing here does not fit. The bolts lock up there. So I will unscrew this part here and try to remark where this bolt comes up. And then I can adjust that. Meanwhile, make sure these shims are all tight over here. And, you know, you can sometimes score them on the side if you want to, or just give it a snap like that. Oh, get rid of it. So, now having done that, I'll still have to come back and get this little part over here. And to get that, that's pretty simple too. You can use a special tool or something like this. Just kind of bust off that edge, get a little scrape down, maybe take a razor blade to it. You know what I'm getting at. Alright, so I'll work on snapping those things off and make this presentable. You can see now that down here, that hinge has been tightened on the other side, down there, and so those are ready to be snapped off too. So I'll dress up a little bit and fix that whole part. Be back. All right, so up here on the top, you can see we got this little pin here. Hopefully you can see it right there, and it goes in the hole up in here. Well, it used to. Now it doesn't so much. So what we need, this is a nice little trick, is you get a little bit of something like this grease here, right? You get some grease off of this pin here, and you put on top of this thing here, wherever it went to, right there, right? Wait, is that it? There it is. Put more grease on it. Alright, so you get this here all nice and greasy on top. And then, supposedly you shut the door, you push it up, right in there, pull it back down. And when you pull it out, you should have a nice greasy finger. No. You should actually have a mark up there where it was. And let's just kind of take a look here. Anything? Not really. Although it could have been right. Yeah, something else. What is this? It? Nah. Alright, so maybe we need something else besides that. Or maybe we actually need some grease. So I'm going to go find something, and I'll do that whole thing again. Alright, so I went and found some silicone caulking, and probably hard to see it, but it's right here on the edge of the circle where the pin goes in. So judging by it, this little metal plate up here has to be moved over, I'd say a 1/16 of an inch maybe? 32nd, something like that? 1/16 of an inch. Yeah, see up there? So what I'll do is I'll take a little razor knife and I'll cut, maybe I should pry this part out, and then I'll cut just a little bit over here and scrape it out with the little chisel or something, right? And see how that works out. All right, so you can see it's closed, and you can slide the pin up. There. Oops. All right, so now that is done, and I'll go back later and do a little bit of a touch up here, where it's a little bit notched out there. And well, it's a finished job now. So, you know, thanks for watching, and all right, so we still got that there. So that's not too bad. All we'll do is I will scrape, once again, like I said, scrape the stuff off this wooden piece here. You know, get the caulking off. And it already has some nails in it, so I will just simply line it back up to where it came off of and hammer it back on. So stay tuned. Let me finish this up. All right, so there it is. Now, it's not totally done yet, but what I'll do is I will fill up the crack up here and re-caulk the back side of it here and the front side here, and then it'll be done. So basically that's it. Door is on, it closes, and yeah, any questions, comments, leave them below. And odd job doer, thanks for watching.